The ocean never gives up her secrets easily. It was December 5th, 1872, when a British brigantine named De Graffia sailed calmly across the North Atlantic, about 400 miles east of the Azores Islands. The sea was quiet, the sky painted with silver clouds. But on the horizon, Captain David Morehouse spotted something unusual. Another ship drifting aimlessly, her sails half torn, moving without direction. That ship was the Mary Celeste, one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in maritime history. When the crew of the De Gratia approached, they expected trouble, perhaps pirates, maybe a shipwreck survivor waving for help. But as they neared, the silence was haunting. No signal flags, no crew visible. The ship looked ghostly, alive, yet abandoned. Captain Morehouse ordered a small team to board. They climbed the side of the drifting vessel and found something that chilled them to the bone. The Mary Celeste was completely empty. An empty ship, yet everything was there. Inside, there were no signs of struggle, no blood, no damage, and not a single soul. The sailors' belongings were untouched. Their clothes were neatly folded. The captain's logbook was there, with the last entry dated 10 days earlier. Everything seemed normal until suddenly, nothing. The ship's cargo, 1,701 barrels of pure industrial alcohol, was almost entirely intact. Food for 6 months remained in the storage. The crew's pipes, boots, and even toys belonging to the captain's little daughter were lying around as if they had just stepped out for a moment. Yet the lifeboat was gone, and so were 10 people. The ship's captain, Benjamin Spooner Briggs, his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and 7 experienced sailors. Not one of them was ever seen again. Who was Captain Briggs? Captain Briggs was not an ordinary sailor. He was a devout Christian, respected and loved by his crew, a man of discipline and calm faith. Before the voyage, he wrote to his mother, "Our ship is in beautiful trim. I feel that God is with us and will guide us safely." The Mary Celeste left New York City on November 7th, 1872, bound for Genoa, Italy. The weather reports were clear. Briggs had chosen his best crew, hand-picked, loyal, and experienced. Everything about the journey was perfect. So how could an entire crew vanish without a trace? Theories began from mutiny to mystery. When the Mary Celeste was towed back to port, newspapers exploded with headlines. "Ghost ship found drifting, crew vanished," screamed the front pages. The world was obsessed. At first, people suspected mutiny. Maybe the sailors killed the captain and fled. But that didn't make sense. There was no blood, no weapon, and the lifeboat couldn't have traveled far across such a vast sea. Then came the idea of pirates. But again, the ship's valuables, gold coins, jewelry, and personal items, were untouched. Pirates never leave treasure behind. Another theory was explosive cargo. Some experts said that alcohol fumes might have leaked, creating fear of an explosion. The crew, thinking the ship might blow up, could have escaped temporarily in the lifeboat, waiting for the fumes to clear. But then, perhaps, a sudden gust of wind separated them from the Mary Celeste forever. That's possible, but no one could confirm it. A ship cursed by the sea? Sailors are superstitious people. Soon whispers began to spread across the Atlantic ports. The Mary Celeste is cursed. Some claimed they saw her drifting for years after the event, an empty shadow crossing the waves. Stories spread that the crew had been taken by sea spirits or dragged beneath the water by ghostly hands. In 1885, 13 years later, the ship itself met a tragic end. A dishonest captain tried to deliberately wreck it for insurance money, running it aground on a reef near Haiti. He survived, but the Mary Celeste was gone forever. swallowed by the sea she once haunted. It was as if the ocean had taken back what belonged to her. Strange coincidences and eerie details. Many details of the mystery still make historians uneasy. The last log entry placed the Mary Celeste near the Azores, but her path suggests she drifted hundreds of miles off course. The ship's chronometer, navigation clock, and sextant were missing, suggesting someone deliberately left with navigation tools. Captain Morehouse, who found the ship, actually was a personal friend of Captain Briggs. They had dined together in New York before the voyage. Some later accused Morehouse of foul play, but no evidence was ever found. One of the strangest facts: the New York Times reported that 10 barrels of alcohol were found empty. Could some have leaked, creating the fumes that scared the crew away? Or did someone try to steal it and trigger chaos? Even with all this, no one could explain the complete disappearance of 10 people. No wreckage, no bodies, no lifeboat, nothing ever. Modern investigations. In 2002, scientists recreated the possible explosion scenario. They placed alcohol fumes in a replica ship and set it off. To their shock, it caused a huge blast of flame, but no actual explosion, just a powerful whoosh of air that could have terrified the crew into thinking the ship was about to blow up. If Briggs ordered everyone into the lifeboat temporarily and a rope tied them to the ship snapped, they would have been left helpless at sea. The Mary Celeste, lighter without its lifeboat, could have drifted away in the wind, leaving the crew lost forever. It's one of the most believable theories, and yet it's still just a theory. Legacy of the Mary Celeste. Today, the Mary Celeste stands as one of the ocean's most haunting, unsolved mysteries. No other ghost ship story has captured the world's imagination like hers. She's been the subject of novels, films, and even conspiracy theories, from aliens to sea monsters, from time warps to Bermuda Triangle-like phenomena. But what truly haunts us isn't the mystery itself, it's the silence left behind. Because in that vast blue ocean, 10 souls vanished without a trace, leaving behind only their ship, adrift, quiet, waiting. Maybe somewhere out there, the spirit of the Mary Celeste still sails through the mist, carrying the unanswered questions of the sea.